of Puck Drop. And today is going to be Offseason Preview episode 4?
4.
4. We're 4 in sub 2 weeks. That's impressive. Anyway, today we're going to do the LA Kings. And Jacob, our statistician here on the show, take it away.
Alright, so I'm just going to read off most basic stats, points, goals, and assists. Andre Kopitar led the team in all three of those categories, 62 points, 21 goals, and 41 assists, which is a terrific bounce-back season compared to I believe he only had around 60 points all of 2018-19. So it's a good bounce-back season for Andre Kopitar. But, that's it for the stats. Because the stats don't really tell the story for the Kings, who, by the way, were on a run. They won 7 in a row to end the season.
Which is great by hockey standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to say a couple things about the LA Kings. So similar to the previous episode we have with the San Jose Sharks. Links down in the comments below. I'm just going to talk about how not only are these two teams from California that don't love each other, they are both two teams that have had their playoff runs and their threatens in their Pacific Division.
And yet, they're very different.
Yeah.
They're very different. They're going in complete opposite directions. The Sharks are sinking.
Yes, but Jordan, yes, they are sinking. But what I'm saying is that both teams once were big threats in their division.
Yeah.
And now they've sunken down, and the two of them are bottom 5 in the league. You know? It's insane.
They're bad right now, but they're going in opposite directions. The Sharks are sinking. The Kings will soon be flying because
They have the best prospect pool in the NHL.
Absolutely,
no doubt.
All these losing years have given them so much draft capital and prospect pools.
But you can't say all these losing years. Two losing years.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Jacob, let's see. 3 years ago, where were they? I'm pretty sure they finished.
Playoffs.
Yeah, they were with Vegas.
3 years ago they got swept by Vegas in the first round.
That's right. They did get swept by Vegas in the first round.
Well, they got swept by an expansion team, but
No. Vegas was not an expansion team. Vegas was a glorified new team. Anyway, continuing.
Let's go with that.
What?
So let's go with that.
But
they have one of the best prospect pools in the NHL, especially up front. Gabe Vilardi finally got to play this year. He's had suffered through lots of injuries since he was drafted back and a back injury, so it was really bad. And he came into the lineup and scored, I believe, 5 or 6 points in 7 games. So he started his career very well. They got Rasmus Kupari, another great forward prospect. Alex Turcotte was their 5th overall pick from last year's draft. And then they have the 2nd overall pick this year, which they will either use to select Tim Stutzle or Quinn Byfield.
which I think they'll draft Quentin Byfield.
yes, absolutely. I think that Quentin Byfield is by far not as good as Kakko, but it's still in spectacular.
He's better.
He's better than Kakko.
Not Kakko. Oh my
Alexi
God.
Lafreniere.
Alexi Lafreniere. I think that Alexi Lafreniere blows him away by miles. That's the difference between this draft, is that Alexis Lafreniere is better than everybody in the draft. However, I do have to say I think Quentin Byfield would be a good up to a team that's already upping for the future.
Yeah, they have a lot of forward prospects. They're going to need to focus on some defense in this draft, though. It wouldn't make sense for them to draft Drysdale with their pick, but focusing on... Wow, Ryan, how rude. You interrupted my statement.
Continue.
Well, they won't draft Drysdale with the 2nd overall pick. That would be lunacy. But they will definitely don't be surprised if they focus on defensemen in the later rounds of this draft, because it's a very deep draft. And it's not a very defensive draft, but it's a very deep draft in general.
I mean, defensively, they have Mike Anderson, Devils forward Joey Anderson's younger brother, who came into the NHL this year.
And I don't think he's that bad at all.
No.
Yeah.
He came into the NHL this year and played at the end of the season and played fantastic. And then they got guys like Kel Clegg, but after that, not much. They focused on really refreshing their forward core recently. Oh, and they got Sean Dursey, of course, who they acquired as part of the Jake Muzzin trade. But the Kings really don't have that big of a defensive prospect pool.
Yeah, they're definitely
which is something they're going to want to upgrade.
They definitely need to shore up on defense in this draft in this offseason. But let me talk about, in general, the big picture for the Kings. Now, the Kings they may compete a little bit this season. They may sniff a wild card spot, but let's be real, they're not I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. But after that, they can really start to contend if they shore up the defensive core.
Yeah, definitely.
If
But
they
let
shore up the
me
defensive
just
They
say, my favorite LA King is definitely Anze Kopitar. I think that he definitely brings all the light to LA. And Jordan, I happen to say, I think you're wrong. I'm going to go with Jacob's contrary beliefs. I think that they will definitely next year be in the middle, if not better, and possibly even look for some playoff hockey next year.
I mean,
I don't think they're looking for playoff hockey
You
next
don't think
year.
so?
But I think they should be better, especially if they are going to play at least somewhat to the level they played at the end of last season.
Yeah.
They're not going to be at the bottom.
And typical Jacob Gordon. This is typical Jacob Gordon on our show. If any of you have been watching the previous 3 episodes, every single team, I think they'll end up in the middle at worst.
No. I didn't say that. For Detroit, I said that all these teams can. I doesn't mean they will.
because there's not enough room in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
they'll definitely shore up the defensive core. In a couple years, maybe 3 years down the line, look for them to compete with the starting goalie, who I forget the name
Cal
of.
Peterson.
Cal
Yeah,
Peterson.
Cal Peterson.
And
He's been looking
a
fantastic.
very, very strong offensive core, and an average, if a pretty good, if not average, defensive core. But
And
that
they're-
can take them pretty far. A team like that can go pretty far. Don't get me wrong.
They've already been building up their defensive. A young defensive core with guys like Sean Walker and Matt Roy, who led the team in plus minus. And Drew Doughty is not that old. He's 30, I think, but which is like it's up there. But if the Kings can contend in another 2 to 3 years, Doughty will still have some good years left in him.
Yeah,
so,
but they don't really have a blue chip defensive prospect. They don't really have that superstar defensive prospect.
No.
Which I mean,
So let me ask you something, Jacob. Who's the first to go in the LA Kings this offseason? Who's leaving? Who's not getting re-signed or getting traded? Or who would you say the Kings are looking to part ways with this offseason? And then you, Jordan. Who do you think?
I don't think they're looking to part ways with anyone in particular.
They got to be looking for somebody because
they're not looking for specifically somebody, but I think this season you're definitely going to see the passing of the torch. The old core that won the cups passing the torch to the new core that's going to win them, who can win them cups in a couple years down the line. They're not looking to part ways with anyone in particular.
And
as
they have
Jacob
cap
said.
space too.
They have cap space, yeah,
So
absolutely.
if anything, I think they're going to add. They could add new faces. My guess is that they're going to sign maybe a second pairing defenseman. Forward wise, I think they probably won't touch that. Maybe some fringe NHLers to compete for a bottom 6 role.
I mean,
But I think they're going to look to upgrade their defense a little bit. And after that, maybe not that much. Obviously, they're going to add either Quinn Byfield or Tim Stutzle, 2 fantastic players in the draft.
say the second name again after Quentin Byfield.
Tim Stutzle.
Tim Stutzle.
Well, when he comes to America, everyone's gonna his name is going to change from Tim Stutzle, which is how you're supposed to pronounce it, to Tim Stutzel. Everyone's just call him Stutzel when he comes to
I'm
America.
just gonna call him Tim the Man or something. I don't know.
Just call him Stutzel.
Tin Man. All right, whatever. That's not important. So before we wrap this one up, I would just like to ask you guys both a question. My question is, who do you guys think is not only Anze Kopitar, but who do you guys think is going to look to take the leadership role in the next season?
Oh, like who is going to be their leader in the future going forward?
Yes, because Kopitar is not going to be there forever.
Oh no, obviously.
Who else on this team is looking like a leader? Because you need somebody to help out the cap.
Alex Iafallo is a good young forward. He had a bit of a coming out party this year. I think he definitely could take a leadership role, but other guys, Alex Turcotte in the system was a great leader in that USNTDP team that Jack Hughes was on. And they got some other guys coming up, but I think those are the main 2 guys. Maybe even Sean Walker, Matt Waugh can take that, or Matt Roy, Waugh, one of those 2.
So what you're saying is, there's no doubt about it that Anze Kopitar is the captain of the LA Kings. But
Yeah,
there's
he's the
definitely,
definition of a leader.
in my opinion, there is spots for alternate leadership on this team.
They've got a lot of guys coming up in the wings, and they'll need leadership to succeed. I think, as you said, Drew Doughty's not that old yet, so he'll probably lead the team at like Andy Green did for the Devils.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there.
Yeah. So But should we wrap it up here, guys?
Wrap it up.
I think this is a great time to wrap up this short episode, guys. Thanks so much for watching this disaster. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. We will see you in the next one. Follow us on Instagram.
At puck_drop.lhs.source.
That's right, yeah! Puck_drop.lhs.source. And follow us on Twitter. I think I'll say it this time. At LHS Puck Drop. Okay, guys.
Ducks are next time.
Ducks are next time.
Quack.
And then we're done with the California.
We're done with our California tour. We went north to south.
So, guys, one more thing I want to do. Quack.
No, we gotta say that for the next episode. Hey,
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you later.